Hey there, garden fans. Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. I've been pretty bad about giving you updates on the project farm over at Locklairs. So I kind of wanted to do a full update from beginning to end, where we started in August and where we are right now in March, planting stuff. It'll give you an idea of how quickly you can set up a permaculture system or a permaculture-like food forestry system. It's possible, you can do it anywhere. Enjoy the journey. So it was back in March of last year that my local feed and seed store owner was showing some interest in growing a garden. After doing a free consultation with her and drawing up a design, inviting her over to my house to check out my garden, she expressed some interest in doing the same kind of design here on her property. So it was in August, finally, that we started to get working on this project. And me and a good friend came out here one afternoon and started finding our contour lines that we were going to start putting swales in. Now, swales are just water harvesting trenches. In our case, we're using a flood and flush system where the swales will flood over and spill into a common spillway that we are eventually going to harvest the water from for vegetable beds. It took us longer to actually map out our earthworks than it did for our tractor driver to actually dig all those marks. In fact, we had a pretty experienced guy come out here and cut all these swales in about 15 or 20 minutes. So we kind of laughed that the hardest thing was just coming up with the whole design and finding it on the landscape. But in 15 minutes, we had a truck driver out here and basically do us a good rough cut of our contour lines. He then dug us a common spillway for all the swales where any overflow could drain off the property. We did eventually turn that into some vegetable beds. We're using the flooded water to feed vegetable beds. The soil profile here at Locklairs is not bad. There is clay in the soil, but there's also a good amount of compost and sand. So it's a really good mix. In some areas it's really thick and rich and black where horses have been pastured, and in other areas it's kind of dead and clay and sandy. So we planned accordingly, of course, and are getting it all together right now as we speak. It took us about a month after those rough cuts to smooth out these swales, and we didn't have to really do this. We probably could have, just left them the way they were and let Mother Nature smooth them out. But we did go through, smooth the swales out a little bit, make sure we tested everything with a flood and flush system, and then we basically seeded every swale that we had dug. It's kind of like cutting yourself. We basically cut the earth open, and what we had to do was heal that scar that we caused. So we seeded every single swale and then went over with wood chips to just cover the earth. A finished swale kind of looks like this right here. And it was basically through the whole month of August and a little bit into September that we were actually taking the time every weekend, a little bit at a time, to clean up these swales and get them seeded and wood chipped. By about the middle of October, we had them all wood chipped and all seeded out, and the winter rains finally started coming. And the end of October and November, the rains really started to charge the system up. And it was kind of exciting to see, of course, all the clover and ground covers and green beans and fall brassicas we planted out instantly started to blow up in November and December. The ground itself was really starting to soak up water too, like a sponge. In fact, I want to show you some percolation here. Chris Towerton, I know you'd love to hear that word. Between two swales I've got here, after a big rain event where the swales had filled and they did spill out a little bit, we came through the following day and were digging holes to plant some elderberry. And I was really excited to see that the system works. In between our patties, so to speak, in between our swales, we're actually spreading and sinking water, and we were really creating a lens of water, as you can see in this hole here, by the drainage. So what we have is water sinking into our landscape, hitting that subsoil clay layer, and it's starting to break it up naturally just by digging these swales. So it made a huge impact on the landscape. Through November, December, we could really see that the fertility and the water holding capacity from all the wood chips we had thrown down was making a difference. Here's a shot of the place in January. Our peas had finally died back, and what you see on the hills now is just the clover really bursting forth. And this is a shot right here from just last week. And here in March, what we're doing is coming through and planting a lot of the support species. A lot of autumn olive, a lot of blackberries, blueberries, a lot of the pioneer species to help start breaking up the soil. But here's where we stand right now. We got a lot of clover on our swales. We're planting in the swales, on the swales, around the swales. We've got things planted in agroforestry style and in permaculture mixed planting style. So the garden's coming along. Please keep in touch for more. We finally got an education center donated at the top of the hill, if you can see that garage up there. But the project is really coming along and looking good. And if you're interested in seeing more, please hit that subscribe button and stick around. I'm going to make sure to give you all at least one update from Locklairs every month. And I'm going to make it a long one because it's an acre property. It's not like my 2,000 square feet. So I hope you enjoyed this little intro and jibe about Locklairs. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, God bless.